Hey everyone, it's Kevin, and in today's video, I'm going to tell you how to stop the binge purge cycle. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss a video, and if you want to speak with me, there is a link below. If you want to start your own YouTube channel, you can do that. Join the Creative Business Academy by Essetino Artists. There is also a link below. How do you stop the binge purge cycle? It should be called the binge purge restrict cycle. It seems like it's impossible to break sometimes because you've done it so many times and it takes over your life and it's all you can think about. But there is a way to break it, and you can start breaking it as soon as today. This video should help, but keep in mind that it's going to take probably several weeks, if not months, to completely break it. You're not going to break it overnight. Breaking this cycle should be your #1 priority. Nothing else should matter right now. If you have other goals in life, if you have other health and fitness goals, maybe put those on the back burner. Or if you can, if you have other fitness goals, if you have a weight loss goal, definitely forget those right now. You need to break this cycle. This cycle should be the #1 thing in your life, because if you can't break this, your potential in life is going to be here when it really could be here. It's going to drag you down. This cycle can affect other areas of your life, so the sooner you break it, the better. Do not focus on weight right now. Weight should not be a primary concern. Running a marathon should not be your concern. If you have other fitness goals, don't think about them right now. Break this cycle. Once you break the cycle, then you can focus on all those other goals. But right now, this is your #1 priority. One reason it took me so long to overcome this cycle is because I was focused on aesthetics and weight and fitness, when I should have been focused on correcting my behavior. The good thing is you can break this cycle anywhere. So you have 3 parts. You have binge, you have the purge, and then you have the restriction. You can break it at any point, although I find it best to break it before you start the binge. Once you do the binge, then it's almost impossible not to purge, because you think you've done all this damage, you have to do something, you have to compensate. And then the restriction almost inevitably comes after that, because you think you need to control it even more, and that only compounds the problem. So the best way to do this is to overcome those urges and overcome those voices in your head. I've made previous videos about that. You can go back and watch them, but try to stop it before the binge. It doesn't mean you can't stop it between the binge and the purge, or between the purge and the restriction. It's just a lot harder. And you can start breaking this with one decision. All you have to do is decide today that you're going to break it, that you're going to start making changes, that from now on, you're going to make a concerted effort to break the cycle. But you need to be realistic. You're not going to break this cycle in one day. You're not going to break it in one go. You're going to fall, but then you need to get back up again. Remember, recovery is not a linear process. It doesn't start one day and then end on a specific day. You're not going to know. That's why you shouldn't count the days of recovery. The first few times you do it are going to be the hardest, because you've done this so many times, and this habit is so ingrained that it seems impossible to break. So if those urges are overwhelming and those voices in your head are so compelling, okay, that's normal. But you've got to break it at least once. You need to set a precedent. You need to prove to yourself that you can do it. Once you do it once, then you can do it again, again, and again. It's doing it that first time that really sucks. You also need to accept that you're not going to have this hit anymore. You're not going to have that rush. You're not going to have that instant gratification. I think that's the hardest thing about overcoming any addiction or an ED, is that you're so used to having that rush. You're so used to having this thing provide you this flood of endorphins when you have all that salt, sugar, and fat. It feels good temporarily. I'm not gonna lie, it does. But then there's a bill to pay. There are consequences for this. And you need to think more about those consequences than the instant gratification that you get. As somebody who's on the other side of recovery, I can tell you that life is a lot better without it. And you're not missing much. I don't miss that flood of endorphins. I don't think that my life is worse because I don't have it. It only seems like that before recovery. You'd think you have to have it, but it's an illusion. You don't have to. Just keep in mind, there is nothing good about the binge purge restrict cycle. Nothing. Think of all the things that it's costing you. Your health, your sanity, your mental health. Maybe it's affecting your performance in school. Maybe it's affecting your performance at the gym, your work, your relationships, your fitness goals, whatever those are. It's very detrimental. It's very damaging. It's not helping you at all. It's not serving you in any way. It's a maladaptive, destructive behavior. The only good thing is the 10 or 15 minutes that you do it, and then you crash, and then you feel guilty, and then you feel stressed, and then you vow to go into restriction mode again. And then when you restrict, it only compounds the problem, because you can only restrict for so long, and then you are back to your old ways again. That's why it's best to break this cycle before a purge, before the process starts. Because once the process starts, it's really hard to stop it. It's like trying to stop a freight train that's going 60 miles an hour. It's easier to stop the train when it's barely moving. The point is, there's nothing good about this cycle. Nothing. And don't delay recovery, because the more times you do it, the harder it is. It's the easiest time to break the cycle was yesterday. But yesterday's gone, so now it's today. And then tomorrow it's going to be a little harder, because each time you repeat a habit, it's harder and harder and harder to get rid of it. Habits have momentum. And once a habit has momentum, it's really hard to stop that momentum. You need to reclaim that momentum. Once you get the momentum and you prove to yourself that you can break it, then you can start the recovery process. But it all starts with one time. That's the key, one time. Can you do it once? Prove to yourself that you can do it once. And quit listening to those voices in your head that say tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, because you're just going to waste a lot of time and it's not going to be easier in the future. The easiest time to break this cycle is today. Before the process even starts, just do a quick cost-benefit analysis. Turn on your logical brain again. Okay, you need to counter that reptile brain in the back of your head. What are the benefits of this cycle? Maybe comfort, maybe security, maybe it provides that rush that you're looking for. That's usually what it is. Or maybe it's just that instant relief from the craving. Cravings are uncomfortable sometimes. You get a craving to look at something, to do something, to consume something, and it's like, I have to do this. And a lot of times addicts and disordered eaters, they're only repeating the behavior to get rid of the craving, not because it actually feels good. So that's the benefit, but what are the costs? It's costing you everything else that you want in life. It's costing you your goals. It's costing you your dreams. It's costing you time. You can't reclaim that. And in 5 or 10 years, you're going to look back and you're going to regret it. In fact, in a week, you're going to look back and you regret it. Let me ask you this. Has there ever been an episode that you did not regret? Let me know in the comments below. So let's review. Breaking the cycle is going to be easier today, not tomorrow, so don't wait. The more times you repeat a habit, the harder it gets to unravel, to break. Breaking this cycle, the binge purge restrict cycle, should be your #1 priority. Nothing else should be your priority right now. There's nothing good about this cycle. It's costing you everything and you're gaining nothing. It's one of the worst trade-offs you could possibly make. Remember, you will regret every episode. I promise. The first few times you try to break the cycle are going to be the hardest, just accept that. And when you break it once, you're probably going to have another episode after that. That's okay. Recovery is not always linear. You're going to have successes and then challenges. Successes and then challenges. I don't want to say failures, but you don't break a habit in one day. But get the process started now. And accept that you're not going to have that instant gratification and you're not going to have that rush of endorphins anymore. Those are gone. Okay, those days are over. And that's a good thing because better days ahead. When you break this cycle, your life is going to be so much better, I promise. I hope you found this video educational and entertaining. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And if you want to speak with me, there is a link below. I'm also going to make a sequel to this video, so don't forget to check that out. That should be out in the next couple of weeks. If you liked this video on breaking the binge purge restrict cycle, then I'm sure you'll like one of the other videos that you see on the screen. Click one of them, and I'll see you there.